Alderman Moss,
Here.
Vice Mayor Jernigan,
Here.
Alderman Merrick is absent, and Alderman Sanders.
Here.
Forum. Excuse me. I guess we start out with, do we have the police report? You want to read it?
Yes. There were 326 complaints, 4 accidents, 11 offense reports, 51 citations, 6 animal complaints, 3 code enforcement, and 5 arrests. They logged a total of 3,371 miles for the month of June.
The chief and Gilmore, going back to nice one, pick up the other cruiser. It hadn't worked out the way it's supposed to. You want to read the fire department? Excuse me.
For the month of June, we had 1 structure fire, 1 landing zone, an MVA with injuries, assisted EMS with 1 call, and stood by for the police department. The department trained for probably a total of 10 hours for the month. We also participated in the end of summer school celebration at Surgoinsville Elementary School. And our new cascade system that we received off the grant is scheduled to be installed on July the 30th. And we have our annual pump test scheduled for the exact same day.
Good deal. Appreciate the job that you guys do. Now, anyone want to read your report?
Yeah. Okay, for the month of June, for our dumping at the landfill, on the tonnage, the residential was 67.48 tons, the commercial was 12 tons. The dump trailers came up to about 2.74 tons, the brush truck was 21 tons, 21.60 tons. And then we had 1 load that was taken to Weston, which they don't weigh that, but we've been taking some clean brush there. And then on the fuel expenses, just for the public works truck was $458.96. The trash truck was $509.84. The brush truck was $378. The tractor diesel fuel for the tractors was $201.54. And for the lawnmowers was $160.31, and that was a total of $1708.65. That'd be all total in fuel. The equipment expenses at Mark's Auto Parts was $81.27. Fastenal Company was $27.02. Rule King was $108.98. Abington Equipment was $3,000, and that was for the transmission on the tractor. eBay was $47.89. Amazon was $34.02. Lowe's was $5.58, and then we bought some cages and stuff from Animal Control, and that was $59.58. And that should be all that.
Everyone look over the sewage.
And at the bottom down there, we've got it, for the expenses for the sewer. I actually had Tony put down what the expenses were, some of the expenses that were paid out off the sewer line item. Do you want to read that, or are y'all just looking at that? Or?
Well, I just like some of the things that you got here, and especially where Tony's been out cleaning his screens.
Yes, he actually got 45 done this last month, and we hadn't got started this month doing anything yet, just because we had a short week last week.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and get him started again this week.
Okay.
I do have a question about this clean the screens and tank. I'm not supposed to be pulling pumps out, am I?
And what?
I'm not supposed to be pulling the pumps out, am I?
I don't know.
Well,
John?
They got a screen on the front too.
yeah, I know. But preventive maintenance is pull the string out of the basket and clean the strings on the basket, get them cleaned off, and that'll save the pump. You want to pour that sludge into the pump. You go mess with pulling your pump set, you're going to end up breaking, and you're going to be end up replumbing the whole pump back in. You ain't careful.
We just have to look and see what is required.
Well, what, me and James had talked about the one day, he said if them screens was extremely bad, really bad, you might want to take a look at the pump then. So, I mean, if the screens are doing their job, then really the screens on the pump, that's gonna pull that in little sedentary stuff, but it shouldn't, the bigger screens ought to be handling the biggest part of it. But, I mean, that's up to y'all what you wanna do, but I mean, I'd say if it's extremely nasty, then we maybe take a look at the pump, screen on the pump too. But, I mean, we've run across some that was really bad, where we've had to work on stuff, and the screens didn't do what they were supposed to be doing. We've had pieces of plastic stuck in them, we've had cigarette butts, we've had everything stuck in them.
Well, my opinion, and Brother John's too, if you get one that's turbo, then check the pump too. Otherwise, just clean the screen.
Yeah. I've got several times.
Well, we've run into something that's really bad like that too, and they're just nasty, and by the time you look at the screens and just see that they aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then you get in there and then the pump's clogged up too.
That's all on the report, see.
Quick question. For the sewer system of your all's, do y'all require the customers to pump out the solid side of their septic system?
No.
I'm checking that away.
I'm thinking that should be something that should be done. Okay, the gray water system like you get. Because all the solids should stay in their septic tanks.
Pulling us some of the solid down. Do you remember anything on
It's my understanding that we could do it once every 7 years if need be.
Okay, for the city to do the pump out once every 7 years? Yeah.
That was my understanding. What did you do?
that? I don't know, that's what I.
We'd have to look at the state operating permit requirements to be sure that there's a maintenance schedule that complies with that.
Well, in that case, what I've had Tony pulling the lids on all the ones that he's checking and checking that solid side too. So, and I told him anything that looked like it was really close or something and he's had a couple that's pretty close. I told him to make sure that he made note of those, where anything that was really close, so that if that was something we had to go back and address and look at, or he might have to pump out, then we had a list of what we'd have to go back to if we had to do that.
Okay.
The other thing, based on what's been said this evening, if as a result of improper usage as set out in the user agreement, a user has clogged the filter and caused additional work, probably should charge the user for the expense of having that maintenance done. What was said, filter clogged with cigarette butts, that's one of the items that's specifically listed in the user agreement, not to.
Well, we've had a case or two, and Tony and John both have witnessed it out here at a certain place, and it had everything, tampons and
That's,
baby wipes and
Rubber gloves, there was everything in
Yeah.
there.
well, those are things that the general users shouldn't have to pay for the maintenance of if they're caused by the individual
Yeah.
user.
Well, I think that individual's had to buy several pumps too
Yeah.
because of that, and had to pay for those pumps.
He had to pay your pump as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep. Actually, in two different places, so.
Yeah.
So we won't have a pump truck, we have to hire that then?
mhm. Well, we can pump the solid side, I mean, not the solid side, but
The liquid
we
side.
can pump the liquid side. We've got that 500 gallon tank up there, we can pump. We can pump it out. So, I mean, there's been several that we've pumped down and took just about 1,000 gallon out of it one time or another. Especially if it was something like that and they had to,
Yeah.
had an acquired pump and we had to wait
We
on
don't
them.
have nothing for that, take care of the solids.
No, we don't have nothing for that.
So I would put that out to bid and see who can give us the best price. Because we're getting into a period where it's like 7 years or so for all of them, so.
I think so too, and I think that might be something we ought to do is maybe
It's the
put it
best
out
job.
for bids, put it out for bids of who
Yeah.
can do that.
But stress has we need you to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, an individual homeowner can't call the person and say,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we do is say, if you know you got one or two that you want done at a time or something other, than if we can get bids on them or something, and then you can kind of have them know that that's what they're gonna charge us if we're gonna go do it, and then if you got a couple at a time, let them come do them, or one at a time, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That would do it better if we had like 2 or 3 do at a time, that way we get a better price. Probably.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be more feasible to do it that way.
Everybody read the minutes?
And just to be clear, there are two sets of meeting minutes where we have the special call meeting. So there is a June 10th meeting, and then there are the minutes from the June 25th meeting as well.
So, did I hear most of the accept the minutes and the reports?
I make a motion to accept the reports in both sets of minutes.
One makes the motion, I hear a second. John second it. Any further discussion?
Roll call.
Alderman Bishop,
Aye.
Alderman Foss, Vice Mayor Gurnigan,
Aye.
Alderman Sanders,
Yes.
Motion carried. The resolution for the murder partner family will be rescheduled to the August meeting. Consider second and final reading of ordinance 174-204, which is an ordinance regulating open burning within the city limits of the town of Surgoinsville. I hear a motion on the second reading.
I did not include it, I'm sorry, I put it in the workshop, but I'm going to print more. But what that does is that changes open burning, between October the 15th to May the 15th. That would be a time frame that a burn permit is required within the city limits. So when will not be required, what would that be, between May?
It's not keeping them as a burning anything, I guess it's, you have to have a permit at that time.
Correct, between those dates.
I make a motion to
One makes a motion,
Second.
Tim seconds it. Any further discussion? If not,
Okay. Alderman Bishop,
Aye.
Alderman Sanders,
yes.
Vice Mayor Gurnigan,
Aye.
Alderman Foss,
next item, we will table that until August meeting. Chief Hammond is here. Consider second and final reading of ordinance 177-2024, which is an ordinance to establish a schedule of building permit fees.
And to elaborate, well, this is the ordinance that will allow us, next month when we discuss with Jim and review those fees for the building permits, it will allow us to set those through a resolution.
You make a motion?
Warren make the motion. Here a second. John seconded it. Any further discussion? If not,
Alderman Sandage,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jernigan,
aye.
Alderman Moss,
Aye.
Alderman Bishop.
Consider resolution 153-2024, which is a resolution of authorizing the town to participate in the safety partners matching grant program. Is that something for the fire department?
Yes, so this is the one that we had talked about in the workshop, and actually since that meeting, I think originally I had discussed with you all applying for the turnout gear. Since then, I found out things such as the Gatorade, the maintenance purchases. I know that Hannah recently bought a rain jacket, him and Gillen Water that was reflective wear. All of those items actually qualify. So I had reached out to the lady to make sure that I had submitted the application correctly. And she is willing, since this is her first time, and I was very honest with her and told her that I needed guidance and clarification. And so she was actually going to allow us to increase the amount based off of other needs within all the departments. It doesn't have to be just one single department and one single item.
Okay. Well, I'll make that motion.
Tim made the motion.
I'll second.
Warren seconded. Any more discussion? If not,
Alderman Sandage,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jernigan,
aye.
Alderman Moss,
Aye.
Alderman Bishop.
Right.
Consider resolution 154-2024, which is a resolution with the town's public works and sewer department and personnel.
Here's, I didn't have it at the time, but here's a copy of it if you all would like to look at it. And what I did is for notes from the workshop, I included them in there with the rates.
Oh, I understand what that is now. That's
For
for this, got tore up, but we got back over.
But this will set the rates for the entire town if they were to
Oh,
use any
okay.
personal.
Right up here on the right.
Yeah, that's just on the sewer part, and then of course we'll have stuff with the public works too.
So those of those rates are included.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
No, I'm making fancy, right? Shoot, oh. But you have seizure.
I will know where it's going to be roll call.
Okay. We will,
Okay, Alderman Bishop,
Aye.
Alderman Moss,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jernigan,
aye.
Alderman Sanders.
Yes.
Consider resolution 155-2024, which is a resolution adopting purchasing procedure for the town.
I've emailed everybody out a packet today, and if you'd like a copy of it, just let me know, and I'll be happy to print it out for you. Within the resolution, I think I made your copies in color this time. I did highlight the major parts or any parts that maybe we had discussed and we wanted to include in there. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Motion to approve.
You want to make the motion?
I second.
John seconded it. Any further discussion? If not,
Alderman Bishop,
Aye.
Alderman Hoss,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dorrington, Alderman Sanders.
Yes.
acknowledge that the report on debt obligation to Comptroller's office for the refuse truck has been reported to the Comptroller's office and was acknowledged and approved by the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury. Do we need to vote on that?
There's no vote needed, just wanted everybody to be aware, this is regarding the
Okay.
garbage truck loan, and that the comptroller did acknowledge and approve it, so just wanted more than informative.
Consider purchasing the property at 113 Hendrick Street in the amount of $30,000.
The property and the house, or just the property?
That's all.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Bill makes a motion, Warren seconded it. Any discussion, John? No discussion.
We'll leave the house recorded.
Joe, do you have anything?
We're working on who the grantors will be. As I indicated at the work session, the owner of the property died 35 years ago. The children have died. We're dealing with grandchildren. And so we're trying to sort out that we have everybody to satisfy the
Doing the
town.
family tree search.
Do what?
Doing the family tree search.
Doing the family tree, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Need to have good title.
Okay.
Alderman Bishop,
Aye.
Alderman Hoss,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dorrington,
Aye.
Alderman Sanders.
Yes.
Consider appropriate action to take for employees on CDL requirements.
So how long is the class, if they have to take it?
Hmm?
How long is the class in CDL now? 4 weeks? Or 2 weeks?
No, actually, it's, when one guy went and took it, it was, I think it was a session of about 3 days
Okay.
where he had to take the class and stuff, but now they went and took, he had to go take the test for the general knowledge and the brakes.
Yeah, I understand.
And then, of course, then he had to take that class, and then and all that, actually the pre-trip, all that stuff was involved in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the driving part of it, so he got all that in through that class.
Okay.
The thing is, you know, they're on a waiting list to do it, so, I mean, he was lucky enough that when he signed up for it, it wasn't but just a couple weeks, and then they had him in there. But my problem is that it's been 6 months, almost 7 months, and nobody else has made any effort to do a thing. That's my qualm with it. I just think that they're not intending on doing it to start with. And I mean, I feel like just my personal opinion, if it keeps getting pushed further and further out, it's just, they just think that it's to a point where they think they're not gonna have to do it. And then if the town's gonna put money out for the class or whatever, then, and they don't do it, then I don't know, I have a problem with it myself.
You have any notes what we're talking about the work session? Didn't Kyle say like 60 days probation?
Oh, as far as, I'm getting it in place,
Yeah.
but as far as the work steps are,
Yeah. I think it is. Just not sure.
Biggest thing that I just want to see the town get the bang for the buck. If they're gonna put that kind of money up there to do
Oh, yeah.
for that, then they need to be getting some results out of it.
Yeah, sure. Put my eye on it. This is one that work. We're talking about 60 days, and I understand that part of it, so. This is what we're talking about. So, my recommendation is 60-day probation, and if they're not made an attempt after 60 days termination.
Days is plenty of time.
Yeah, so we've already had it 7 months. And I'm not an attempt, so.
You foresee any repercussions in that?
As has been said here, they've had 7 months. The appropriate thing to do would be to recommend to the mayor to take the action to do it, because mayor is the individual charged with the responsibility for disciplining, hiring, and firing the employees.
I think that we need the discussion, the mayor has it, but then needs to be a documented discussion. Okay, it needs to be documented.
I think that's in the personnel rules.
It's
that
in the
everything-
personnel rules, but I want to make sure that it's documented, documented discussion, outline what we expect, what's expected of the individual by the town. And that they've got 60 days and it's on that time.
Oh, we might have a signature with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have it signed.
Mm-hmm.
This is the motion I will make. That if he has a counseling session and they both give him a written reprimand because they've had, or whoever, had 7 months, you get 60 days probation, not termination. That's the motion I will make.
All of it needs to be documented.
Yes, they do.
I hear a second.
I'll second.
Tim second. Any further discussion?
I don't know about, I agree with the plan, but just a reminder that there is an employee that perhaps will be involved with this requirement that is currently on leave of absence until towards the end of July. So just so you know, there will be 2 different 60 days
That's
as far
fine.
as,
That's fine.
um,
I can understand there's a problem wrong with that, and so that's perfectly fine.
that's,
Yeah,
that's
there's nothing you can do about
Nothing to do about that.
I just wanted to
That's perfectly fine.
Okay. So we got a motion and a second. No further discussion.
Alderman Sanders,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Durgan,
Aye.
Alderman Toss, Alderman Bishop.
Did, we vote on the ARMAD
Yes, and,
last month?
yes, and after tonight, I'll have everything, I'll be able to enroll in that tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah,
I won't mind today.
you want to say that? I think the only thing that we overlooked is I've got a couple of items that I need to also approve to declare surplus, and that was not, they're not formally on the agenda. They're right at the end of the reports and for the minutes.
Oh, yeah. It's in our package, She's got 2 items. I hear a motion, we declare these 2 items surplus. Someone make that motion?
I'll second.
One second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Does anybody else have anything? Donnie?
Got everything said I wanted to say.
Joe?
Go.
If not, now your motion, we adjourn.
Make that motion.
Stand up.
Quickest meeting we've had.